Okay folks, this will be a challenging one. It's going to be a real tiny piece that we're going to isolate on this piece and I'm going to enlarge it huge. I don't know how it's going to look. It's going to need probably at least 2 or 3 enlargements to get it to the size I'm after. So let's see if we can make it look any good. So we're going to blow it up 400%. Maybe not, yeah, we're going to use it there. Not going to use that. Okay, let's see what this is. It is a mobile phone case. Don't know what phone exact, but we're interested mainly in that fingerprint thingamajig. So we're going to photocopy that, enlarge it big. Smooch. It's called Smooch. Yeah, that looks interesting. The honeycomb turned out better than I thought. I think maybe it's that map mode that we used. Wondering if we're going to use the fingerprint still, if that's going to be any good. That's a good question. So I think we can now switch off map mode, and I think we can just switch it to the copied paper, maybe lighten it off a bit, another 400%, and this is just stuck to the glass. It's some kind of jelly-ish, soft sort of a plastic. Don't know what to do. We're just going to donate it to the charity. I bought it at a charity second hand, so we're just going to enlarge that fingerprint section. Yeah, there's the fingerprint. We've got a piece of it there. We've enlarged it, but it still isn't big enough to fit the page. But it looks nice. Maybe we can move it up a bit and make that the centre of the job. Maybe we can move it up and across this way and that way. Up and across. So we're just going to move it up and across to make it a better position. Okay, well that looks nice, but we have that word there. We don't want the writing, so we're going to just enlarge this piece and blow it up even bigger, because we don't want the word there. Maybe, that's a good question, how we're going to make this work. I'm going to enlarge it equally off there and there. I'm just going to work it out how big we're going to make this. 160 by 160. And I'm going to do some interesting things with it, I do think. So this is our piece of, just going to overlap the edges. I'm actually thinking we're going to make this into a 2-colour or a dual colour. I'm going to make this, so hopefully it'll look good. I think we got the colour wrong. I think we need to darken it just quietly. I didn't think of it properly. Let's see the enlargement. That looks interesting. Maybe we could push it up this way, or maybe we could enlarge it less. Maybe make it less on the horizontal, less on the, how are we going to make this less on the horizontal? I do think the dual colour doesn't go well at this stage. I do think we have to darken it considerably, and we have to change our enlargement, maybe the horizontal, how much less the horizontal, or maybe make it 150 and keep that the same. Don't know how it's going to look, folks. Yeah, that looks more pink. It looks more pink, but it still doesn't look like what we want. Wondering if we're going to leave it like that, or we're going to do something to it. That's a good question, folks. I don't know what to do with it. I'm at a loss at how to do this, how to make this into a nice piece. But sometimes with intuition, I find there are solutions, and it might look better than I think if I just finish the job and line it up. But some demos, or a lot of demos, don't always work as well as I'd like them to. I do find that, folks, with demos, you just can't predict how it's going to work, how you're going to make it look decent or good or creative, because it's art. But it's a piece. But with demos, you're on camera, and you're basically a little bit under the pump, you could say, and sometimes you don't always think of all the options that could work better. Often you have better ideas moments after you get off camera, and that really drives me mad when that happens. But it happens, folks. When you're doing what I'm doing, you've got to expect that you do make what appear to be silly mistakes or silly errors, and you just feel really pissed with yourself. You know, I feel pissed when I get off camera and I come up with the conclusion that I could have done it this way, or I could have done it that way. I could have made it this, I could have made it that. It should have worked this way, I should have worked it that way. But basically, you just don't always get it. You don't always get it, folks, and that's just something you have to live with. When you're doing this kind of work, you have to live with the shit. Even if it's a silly mistake that you were doing with a piece of material that you thought was going to be platinum, a triple platinum performance, and it turns out to be nothing more than silver. And it's just not as good as what you'd like it to be. But that looks interesting. I do think, yeah, I think we can keep it like that. It's not the greatest, but I'm just telling you, folks, it doesn't always work. Gotta go.